Oh my God, is Krafton going, is Subnautica 2 going for a lawsuit? What is even happening right now? Okay, this is crazy. We're going to get into it. Charlie just released something. Also, I want to say that this happened as I, again, was about to release a video. So the end of this video after this little part right here is recorded prior to this, so I did not have this information. So the last part of the video, I'm not going to be referencing this at all because this literally just came out. Anyways, Charlie from Unknown Worlds, one of the creators of Subnautica. It continues to be an explosive and surreal time for the Subnautica team and community. None of this is what we wanted, but we truly appreciate the amazing support we've gotten from everyone. It means a lot to us, especially now. As I wrote last week, we know in our souls that the game is ready for early access. That's just how we roll. And we'd like nothing more than for you to play it. Game devs live for this, but it's not currently under our control. We've now filed a lawsuit against Krafton. The details should eventually become at least mostly public. You all deserve the full story. Suing a multi-billion-dollar company in a painful, public, and possibly protracted way was not on my bucket list, but this needs to be made right. Subnautica has been my life's work, and I will never willingly abandon it or the amazing team that has poured their hearts into it. As for the earnout, we're going to talk about this here in a second because I haven't talked about this. As for the earnout, the idea that Max, Ted, and I wanted to keep it all for ourselves is totally untrue. I'm in this industry because I love it, not for riches. Historically, we've always shared our profits with the team and did the same when we sold the studio. You can be damn sure we'll continue with the earnout/bonus as well. They deserve it for all their incredible work trying to get this great game into your hands. Stay tuned, Charlie. Oh my gosh. So, what happened here, and I'm so glad that this happened, is Krafton made a statement. And basically what they said was they essentially, specifically, this is from Krafton here, because this is what Krafton's response was. This is why Charlie is now saying this. Specifically, in addition to the initial $500 million purchase price, we allocated approximately 90% of that up to the $250 million earnout compensation to the 3 former executives with the expectation that they would demonstrate leadership and active involvement in the Subnautica 2. They tried to spin it, and you know what? Maybe the contract said this, but they tried to spin it as saying, oh, well, that 90% of that was going to go to the 3 devs, and they weren't even doing anything anymore. They tried to spin this to make it look like those 3 were going to keep it all for themselves, which was never stated in the article with Bloomberg. It was stated that the leadership was going to share it with everybody. Everybody was going to get hundreds of thousands, if not 7 figures, all this stuff. This right there, oh my gosh. You know what? This is going to be a wild time. So that's what's going on with that. Also, oh my gosh, this is crazy. Like, this is insane. So, they're facing a lawsuit now. I'm excited to see where it's going to go. I don't know. Like, again, all we have is the information that's made public. I don't know who I believe here. Like, obviously, large companies tend to lie, tend to cover themselves. That's just how it is. They usually do that. So I take everything with a grain of salt. I will like to see how the lawsuit goes. And that's going to be interesting. That's going to be super interesting. Now, the rest of this video, like I said, I pre-recorded all this before that was available. Basically, I talk about this, we talk about the gameplay, we watch the gameplay, and then I talk about the game as a whole, why I think it was ready, why everybody else think it was ready. Obviously, it was ready. Like, this is even bigger now. But ultimately, like at the very end, ultimately, I want to support Subnautica 2. I'm still going to be buying it. I still want to play it. But you can absolutely be sure I want to see where this lawsuit goes, and we're going to see what's going on here. We're going to follow it. So hopefully you guys enjoy. If you do, like, subscribe. Make sure you leave a like, follow, share the videos you see fit. But like I said, let's get back into the other video and enjoy. Keep in mind, again, this video was before this information came out. What's going on, everybody? Z here. Welcome back. We are going to be looking at the Subnautica 2 gameplay reveal teaser because I want to check this out. I've already looked at it. It's really cool. But I want to go over it. And Krafton also came back with a response on everything. So we're going to talk about that afterwards, but we need some positivity. I want some good stuff. I want to watch this. I want to be excited about this. Okay. So let's watch this first, and then we're going to talk about all of the stuff that's coming up. So hopefully you guys enjoy. If you do, like, subscribe, all the fun things. Let's check this out, shall we?
You will sleep through 14 years of flight to your new home on Zezura.
This is pretty sick already.
We encourage you
I love
to
it.
nurture your dreams. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath. When you wake up,
I love it.
your new life.
It looks super cool. All of that, actually, we'll go back over this here in a second. This looks super cool, though. I love the new fish type. Like, that looks super cool. These new fish look super cool. Base building looks super cool. I love that door. I love that you can just swim through the door. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for this. This is super cool. Again, we're gonna talk about the other stuff in a little bit. We need some positivity. I don't like talking about drama, you know? I don't. I really don't. I just want to be happy. I want to be excited. The whole time, all of this stuff, I wish none of this stuff would have happened and we were just talking about exciting stuff that was coming out for Subnautica 2. That's what I want. I like gameplay. That's what I thrive on. That new weapon looks cool, or tool. That looks like the squid shark from Below Zero. There's a little computer thing. I love that you can grab onto those. Oh, it looks super cool. Is that the Peeper Leviathan? All right, so, okay, it's all super cool. I love all of it. Hold on, a couple things here. So, this says it's a gameplay reveal teaser. Now, this is gonna play a role later in the video. Gameplay reveal teaser. So, that means that this is gameplay. Somewhat. This is somewhat gameplay. I love that we have an on-land area. This looks super cool. This thing looks really cool. I'm not gonna lie though. I'm thinking, looking at this submarine thing here, I am thinking that this thing, those wings on the side like that, I think when you undock, they come down and fold out. And I think it looks like a stingray kind of thing. Because those sitting on the side like that, you wouldn't be able to see anything. Also, there's this cutout right here, which makes me think that it hinges. It goes down and hinges. You know what I mean? So boom, boom, or it comes in level. So like the pit, the cockpit or whatever is in the middle, and like those fins are on the side. You know, that would make a lot more sense than having them upright like that. I think that's what it's going to be. I don't think they're going to stay upright like that because you wouldn't be able to see anything. Plus, I mean, it looks kind of like a manta ray. Also, we have the whole thing of sleeping for 14 years to get to your place or whatever. Awesome. Obviously, based on this, that doesn't happen because we are crashing of some sort. Yeah. So we just crashed, and then whatever that water treader thing is, that's sick. Is that basically the whale of Subnautica 2, the new reef pack of Subnautica 2? It looks so good. And again, this is all going to play an important role later when I talk about stuff. So now this part, I don't know where we go from like rendered stuff to actual in-game stuff. Like, is this an in-game camera and somebody just swam by like that? Like they just perfectly recorded that? This looks in-game. This looks really good. This looks really, really good. These fish look good. Those look good. I love that door. Lights. Oh, I love that there's lights too. So the Sea Glide is officially gone. We've got the little wrist rocket deals, which is pretty cool. Let's see what else we got in here. So we have some cave stuff. Nothing super expansive as far as like underwater or like underground stuff goes. We had that initial crash, and then we've got a squid shark looking thing. That was in Below Zero. I'm pretty sure those are the same ones that were in Below Zero. So we do have abandoned bases of some sort. So there was people here obviously prior to this. There's some kind of abandoned bases with the story. Base building. What do we have here? We have base building. We have solar panels. These plants right here almost look like they're going to be the replacement for the ribbon plant or whatever. I love the fact that you can hold on to the sub here. That's super cool. I don't know where her auction tank is at. Unless you're just holding your breath. Super good. Oh, you know what though? Ooh. There's the Leviathan. So, I know they mentioned something about like genetic modifications and stuff like that. So that could play a role in the not having an oxygen tank, but I can't imagine like end game genetic mutation that you can breathe underwater. That would be insane. That'd be insane. So, there's the trailer. It looks absolutely sick. I'm excited for it. It's overall, I still support Subnautica, the IP, the developers behind the game. I support that. I support the IP. I support what they're doing. I'm not happy with the upper people. I'm not happy with the leadership. Nobody is. But I don't want to cause this like thing where people are like upset with it so much that we're going to destroy the thing that we love. If you enjoyed Subnautica over the years, if you've played it over the years, you maybe still support Subnautica. I don't know what the right answer is here. You have two options. You either don't support it and don't support the team and don't support the game and don't support the story, or you support it and at the same time the publisher makes a little bit of money off of it too. I don't know. But there's that. Let's talk about the response. All right, so our 12 million fellow subnauts. So basically, this is the response that came out after the whole thing. So basically, as a recap of what's going on here, we have a little bit of a timeline. We start off with Krafton announcing that the gaming industry veteran Steve is going to be the new CEO, right? Basically, they said Steve is replacing these three people effective immediately. There's outrage, all the stuff, where Steve came from, the things that he's worked on. Not super great reputation, but whatever, it is what it is. After that, we get a message from Charlie, which boils down to basically being sad that they're not there anymore, all this stuff. But this is where the little first bit of like drama comes in. Now, obviously, there was drama beforehand with the firing, but the first little bit of drama here is that is about the early access. Charlie said, "We know that the game is ready for early access release. And we know you're ready to play it. And while we thought this was going to be our decision to make, at least for now, that decision is in Krafton's hands." So this was, as far as I'm concerned, Charlie saying, hey, early access was ready. And they told us not to have it come out. So, like that was basically what's being said here. And then after that, so like obviously people were upset. They're like, wait, what do you mean? What's going on with early access? Then we get the Bloomberg article, right? Which says that they had, insider information and they had recordings of things talking about stuff going on, and that Subnautica was delayed until 2026, along with some other things talking about the $250 million payout thing, because they were supposed to, if they hit these revenue targets by the end of 2025, then the team was going to get a $250 million bonus. Essentially, that's what was being said. That's public knowledge. That was announced, like that was talked about back in 2021. So like that's not really up for debate. Like that's a thing. Cool, whatever. But they had to hit revenue targets by the end of 2025. Where this is where people start really getting spicy, is because this is indicating that, oh, well, if they push back the early access, then they're not going to be able to hit this. They're not going to be able to hit the revenue targets. They're not going to make that $250 million bonus. So people were upset about that. People were upset about the team not being paid, because if they push back early access, which at this point, nothing was confirmed. This was all just, inside stuff. As far as I'm concerned, everything in this article has been true so far. So I see really no reason not to believe what they're saying. And then hours later, guess what? We get a confirmation. Early access on Subnautica 2 has been delayed until 2026, which then reaffirms the whole belief of, oh, well, if they push it to 2026, Unknown Worlds will not be able to hit those revenue targets by the end of 2025 and not hit that $250 million thing. Cool. So people are upset for two fronts. Well, three fronts, really. Getting rid of the OG devs, the team not getting a bonus that they were promised, and the team not getting a bonus they were promised due to a decision that, for all intents and purposes, the team believes that they were ready to go. And they were ready for early access, and they were ready. They put their work into it, and they were ready for this. Now they're being told by somebody else higher up, hey, you can't release the game. And it's because it's not ready. It's not because we don't want to pay you, which just happens to probably be the truth too. But it's not ready. It's not a state that's ready yet. Which, this is where I have the issue. Everything points to it being ready for early access in 2025. Everything points to being ready for early access very soon, if not already. I won't say already, but I would say very soon. I would say 2025, no less. The reason I think that, one, we have Charlie saying that. Two, we got this gameplay reveal trailer or teaser, which I think they threw this out there to be hey, look at this, stop paying attention to other stuff, look at this instead. This just doubled down and showed that if this is the gameplay that is currently in Subnautica 2, this is absolutely ready for early access. Subnautica, the first Subnautica, early access was nothing like this. It didn't look nearly this polished. It was basically just rocks and sand and stuff like that, you know. Yeah, a little bit more than that, but you know what I mean. If that was legit, no joke, the actual game and what they represented there was actual gameplay, that looks like it's beyond ready for early access. Does it not? My opinion says yes. Now, the other side of that is this whole delay comes out of nowhere. Let's say we don't take Charlie's word for it. Let's pop over to the Discord. If you go to the Subnautica 2 Discord, if you just go to Subnautica's Discord and just look around, just look at what the devs have said. I'll have a couple examples up here. But 2025, 19 days ago, 1920, like 2 weeks ago, 2-3 weeks ago, a couple devs saying, absolutely, 2025 early access is going to be 1 to 3 years for the, you know, full release after that. It's going to go into early access in the next X amount of days. Yeah, it's ready, all this stuff. Like, those were developers. One of them was a lead designer saying, yeah, ready to go, 2025, all this stuff. So to me, it doesn't sound like it was a whole, oh, well, yeah, everybody agrees that it's not ready yet. No. Not everybody agrees. Even playtesters. There is some leaked playtest stuff out there. You can just search the interwebs. You can find it. The playtests look pretty good. You know, I'm not going to show those here because, like I said, that gets the playtesting and stuff like that. That gets into a whole new realm of like, I'm not sharing that stuff. If you want to go look for it, go find it. Or if you don't believe me, then just don't believe me. Okay. So, but there is some playtest footage out there. There are some screenshots, there's some pictures and things like that. Looks pretty good. Especially since these playtests were a month or so ago, a couple months ago. And then we get this trailer. So you've had development time between the last couple playtests ago and then this one. And this looks better. And then let's say we gave it till November, December timeframe. You absolutely could have early access. So I just don't think that the whole pushing early access thing, I don't think they really have a leg to stand on when it comes to, oh, well, it wasn't ready. Well, everything you've shown has been ready. All the developers say it's ready. Even the fired developers say it was ready. So I really just don't believe it personally. I don't think it's that. I think this whole thing was the wrong message to send. This was not how they should have handled this, and I think this actually makes it look worse than anything because what they did here is what they tried to do, and if you read it, I'll have a link down below. Read it for yourself and you get your own opinion. You tell me, you say what you think. But when I read this right here specifically, in addition to the initial $500 million purchase price, we allocated approximately 90% of the up to $250 million earnout compensation to the 3 former executives, with the expectation that they would demonstrate leadership and active involvement in the development of Subnautica 2. What this sounds like, by them saying we allocated approximately 90% of that, they didn't pay anything yet. This is saying they were going to, if they had hit that, they were going to pay approximately 290% of that to those 3 leads. They never did pay out though. So like this statement right here, I feel like it's disingenuous and I feel like it's misleading on purpose. It's trying to sound like, oh, well, we already gave them 90% of it and they didn't do their job. That's not what happened here. Also, in the Bloomberg article, Unknown World leadership planned to share the additional money with all of the studio's employees. So yeah, cool. They were promised 90% of it, but guess what? Were they sharing it? Of that 90%, were they still divvying it out amongst the other people? Unknown World's leadership planned to share the additional money with all of the studio's employees, which numbered around 100. Staff who were at the company at the time of acquisition were told they were eligible for bonuses ranging from hundreds of thousands of dollars to even 7 figures. That is what the people said. That is what the Bloomberg got on their recording things or whatever. That is what they said. So this whole specific paragraph right here is just trying to shift blame. This entire thing is just trying to shift blame. Like, oh, no, it's their fault. It's their fault. When all of the stuff so far is pointing to, no, it's not really their fault. Everybody says it's ready for early access. The only thing that's pointing to why you would not release it in early access is to save yourself a boatload of money. That is what I think. That's what this reads. That's how it reads. That's how all of this information comes together. Now, they do say at the end of this, promises rewarding employees. Additionally, Krafton has committed to fair and equitable compensation for all remaining Unknown World employees who have continuously and tirelessly contributed to Subnautica's 2 and develop. We believe that the dedication and effort of this team are at the very heart of Subnautica's ongoing evolution, and we reaffirm our commitment to provide the rewards they were promised. Now, does this mean they're going to get those that actual bonus? Are they going to actually get that? I hope so. I really, really hope so. I hope they get it regardless. I hope they still get paid out, and I hope they do. We won't know that because, like I said, or for all we know, if you've ever worked at a large company, people know how large companies work. Large companies don't typically have the individuals at their, the individual's best intentions at their heart, right? A fair and equitable compensation, that could mean anything. Here's $500. Here's a gift card to Applebee's, like you don't know what that means. So I take this with the largest grain of salt ever, but I don't believe this either. The best option for Krafton at this point, because they're playing the whole pointing fingers, blame game, all this stuff. And honestly, on a lot of stuff they say in here, I feel like might actually invalidate if there was an NDA from the 3 developers. I feel like some of the stuff they say in here might invalidate that now because they kind of go into like Charlie was focused on working on a personal film project. Why is that in a PR release? That's a really weird thing to there. That doesn't seem like an appropriate PR release kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like you're getting a little too detailed on personal stuff like that, where it's like, oh, he chose to work on other projects or whatever like that, or he chose to work on something unrelated to whatever. But like he chose to focus on a personal film project. That's really weird to be that specific, So this is the blame game is what's going on here. I think the best option for them right now is if Krafton wants to try to pick up the pieces and try to get everything as happy as we can, they need to come out and they need to just say, hey, we heard your feedback. We heard the community, and we want to make sure that we are committed to doing the right thing in the eyes of all of you. We are going to have early access Subnautica 2 come out November, December. This will help ensure, with your support, this could ensure the payout compensation, what was it called? This could help solidify the $250 million earnout compensation that was promised, along with giving us the game to play. That right there would give everybody. That'd make everybody happy, because I think people can overlook the fact of the 3 leads being gone now. I think people can overlook that. People are upset that the games got delayed, and we got told about it from somebody, not from them. We got told essentially it was delayed not by Unknown Worlds, by somebody else that claimed that talked about some other stuff that was going on. Then they were proven true, so now everybody's believing everything they're saying. That would get that, and then the whole $250 million earnout thing. Like, absolutely, that money, if it was promised, that money should absolutely just go to the team that's working on the game. Absolutely, like just be okay. Cool. 90% of it was supposed to go to the top 3. All right, cool. Well, guess what? They're gone now. So now have fun splitting it between everybody else. You should get a bigger payout now, right? That should be what happens here. I think that's the best bet. I think that's the biggest thing that Krafton could do right now. But this whole blame game is not the way to go. Now, like I said in the beginning of this, and I'm going to say it again, I love Subnautica. I love the IP. The devs, I'm sure, are doing a fantastic job. I have nothing against those. If you're a developer and you're watching this, I am sorry for what's going on. I know that some people are like, oh, well, it's my fault that I brought all this heat onto people. And it's like, honestly, my whole thing here is I just want to bring the information to you. You make whatever decisions you want to make. I think people need to be aware of what's going on, and I think people need to be held accountable for their actions. I think Krafton absolutely should be held accountable for what they're doing. And I think a lot of people get away with I think a lot of these big companies get away with a lot of stuff because they're so big. They don't care. Is anything I'm doing even gonna is Krafton even gonna? No, they're not gonna know anything that I did. If every single person that I hit my YouTube video with unwishlisted the game on Steam, that's gonna do nothing to Krafton. The game's gonna come out. It's gonna sell hundreds of thousands, millions of copies. It's gonna do nothing. So my input, my thing here is I'm just trying to bring light so people know what's going on, so they can make and formulate their own decisions. I fully support the dev team. I am going to buy Subnautica 2. I am 100% going to buy it. I'm going to play it. I'm going to play it on my channel. If for anything, to support the developers and to support the IP, because I love the IP and I love the developers. I don't like the publisher. I don't. But the alternative to that is not buying the game, not supporting the developers, not supporting the IP, having the developers not get paid, lose their jobs, losing a potential IP. And I don't like that more. I could either just maybe not like the publisher, or I could just have a game genre or an entire game that I don't like go down. You know what I mean? Like, of the lesser of the two evils, I would rather have a publisher I don't agree with and still have an amazing game. That's what I want, because I don't think the people that are developing it should be the ones, you know, facing the consequences here. So I did see that there was like a petition thing on like Reddit for like boycotting the game, and I don't think that's really necessarily the right option, honestly. Now, I might catch flack for that, and if you agree, by all means, if you think you want to boycott and you don't want to buy it and you want to wait, by all means, absolutely. If you want to just wait to see what the game looks like when it comes out, absolutely. I am not saying you should do anything one or the other, but what I'm ultimately saying is we have two options here, and you have to just kind of figure out what you're okay with. Right now, I would rather the company be around, I would rather the game be around, I'd rather the developers be around than not. Even with maybe a crappy publisher, whatever. It is what it is. Unfortunately, that's just how it is. So, but leave a comment. Let me know what you think. And the gameplay trailer looks sick. I'm excited for it. I still think it's ready for early access already. And I don't know. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think. And I'm tired of the negative news. Let's just play some games and have fun again. You know, like I'm ready for some fun stuff. But yeah, we'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.